Okay, when I talk about engaging with indigenous communities, vulnerable groups, I apply some of the studies and also experience that I have as a gender advocate, as a feminist scholar. And what I do is I apply intersectionality, and also my students in all the work that they do apply intersectional lenses to their work, but with which perspective, no? And I apply, for example, intracategorical intersectional approaches, intercategorical intersectional approaches, because it is necessary to apply these lenses in order to work with indigenous communities, vulnerable communities, for policy making and governance. And what we do is basically we work with women, for example, or with indigenous communities. Gender analysis is not enough in order to see, to capture the diversity of these groups, but also to influence policymaking. And what I mean is that gender goes together with other social constructions, which are age, ethnicity, race, socioeconomic status, marital status, location, that a woman, a young woman from a rural area is not the same that a woman who is educated and living in urban areas. For a reason, we have some steps in order to work with the communities and apply tools that help us to collect data that is intersectional approach, no? And we, for example, recently conducted a study with a master student in the communities of Andean communities of Peru, and we thought that we were going to consider only gender and sex variables, but as we entered in the community and students went there in order to know the community, we saw that gender and sex are intertwined with different social components, social dimensions, social inequalities. And in order to do a research that is substantive to policymaking, we had to include these aspects, and we noticed that each group should be differentiated through policy in order to be supported better, and for these communities to be sustainable, and, for instance, what I mentioned before, to be resilient.